Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to first start out by giving infinite praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and great apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the elect men pushing out this word in truth and sincerity. This is Brother Yakanan from the DC Church. And the topic I wanted to touch on today, and hopefully this video is entitled, Desire Wisdom. I can expound on that title as as that video goes along. But for right now, the title is Desire Wisdom. You know, and this wisdom is wisdom is the principal thing in this truth that not only that you need to gain in this truth, and is something that you keep constantly, you can't get enough of in this truth, but it's also something that you have to maintain in this truth. You have to maintain the wisdom that you've been able to gain in the gospel. And one of the most important things about wisdom is getting the understanding after the wisdom. It goes knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding. And the understanding is the application of the wisdom that you've been able to gain throughout the months and years that you've been in this faith and been in this ministry. And the desire for wisdom, should never stop after you're able to attain it. You're supposed to desire her more. After getting some of that wisdom, you're supposed to want it more. And that's why wisdom is likened unto a woman, because it's the desire, it is the righteous desire to have. Of course we have desire, we have our carnal desires, and there's nothing wrong with carnal desires, but the desire for wisdom is what bringeth about everything, every and anything that would benefit you, as a man, and most importantly as a man of the Lord. Now I want to start off by getting Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 verse 11. It says, "Wherefore set your affection upon my words, desire them, and ye shall be instructed." So after you set affection upon his words, which comes from the Holy Script, which comes from the Holy Scriptures, you're supposed to desire them. You're supposed to desire the wisdom that comes from the words that are spoken of in the Scriptures, and ye shall be instructed, and you'll know how to move. You'll know how to move. You know how to move in this ministry, and you know how to move overall in just life. Because wisdom can be applied to anything. The Scriptures talk about double to that which is. The wisdom encompasses everything. You can apply wisdom to all aspects of your life. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's in the faith, in the ministry. It doesn't matter if it's at work. It doesn't matter if it's in your relationships. It doesn't matter what aspect of your life, business. It doesn't matter. Wisdom can be applied in all aspects of your life, and it'll benefit you, and it will benefit you in all aspects of your life if you use it right. If you applied the same principles and the same principles into all aspects of your life, of wisdom that you're able to gain from the Ruach Hakodesh, the Holy Spirit, there's you won't fail, but the flesh is the flesh, right? So we fall, we get back up, and sometimes we fall astray, and on top of that, it's a thing of, not everybody's wisdom is the same. Not every man's wisdom is the same. We're on different levels, and the Lord is the one that determines how much wisdom you're allowed to attain at a specific time period. Now, this is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 verse 12. It says, "Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away. Yea, she is easily seen of them that love her, and is found of such as seek her." So you not only do you have to desire wisdom, you have to love wisdom. You know, you have to have that deep love for wisdom, and you have to keep seeking her. You know, she's easily seen of them that love her. You know, so it's plain, this thing is plain unto the elect. It's plain unto those that have the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You know, and it's found of such that seek her. You have to seek it. You know, it's not, wisdom isn't one of those things that's just going to fall upon you without you having to either go through something or without you seeking it. You know, it's either you're going to go through a situation that forces you to understand, forces you to get that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, or, you know, or you desire, you pray for it, and the Lord is able to sup with you and give you give you what the tools that you need to get that wisdom, right? Because you can also pray for wisdom. You know, you can pray for wisdom. You can ask the Lord to part wisdom onto you. You know, and it can't be freely given to you. You know, but you have to desire it. You have to pray for it. You have to seek it. You know, and it could be the Lord could put you in a situation to where He puts you in a situation to get that wisdom, and He could give you an epiphany. You know, it's all about what the Lord deems fit. Now, this is continuing on. It says, she prevented them that desired Him in making herself first known to them. Whoso seeketh her early shall have no great travail, for he shall find her sitting at his doors. You know, so you have to seek wisdom early. You know, you have to seek wisdom early. You have to let it simmer. You have to let it stew. You know, and the reason why is because it allows you to get it allows you to get different perspectives and allows you to apply that wisdom into different aspects of your life. You know, it's good to seek wisdom early because the understanding doesn't just come right after. You know, the understanding may come, the full understanding of the wisdom that you've been able to attain may come a day later, may come a week later, and it could come years later. You know, and that's why it's good to seek. You know, that's why the scriptures talk about seeking the Lord early. You know, and seeking the Lord early while He may be found, right? Because that's implying that there's going to be a certain time where the Lord can't be found, and the same thing with wisdom. There's going to be a time where wisdom cannot be found. You know, where the prophets are on the highways and the edges, the internet is down, where things there's going to be so many things happening to where if you weren't able to attain the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding before, you know, it's going to be very, very hard. It's going to be very, very hard for you. You know, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's damn near impossible. You know, it's better for you to seek wisdom early. It's better for you to seek the Lord early because that's what it's what's going to assure what's it called? It gives you a better chance of making it. Oh, what's it called? Just simply put, it just gives you a better chance of making it. You know, it puts you in a better position. You know, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but the chances of you being able to attain wisdom and attain knowledge and find the Lord, you know, in the time where, you know, things that all hell is breaking loose is very, very, very slim. You know, very, very, very slim. So if the opportunity is presented for you, if the opportunity is presenting itself for the Lord to show Himself to you, and for you to seek the Lord early, and for you to seek His wisdom, His knowledge, and understanding early, so that could be the stability. That could be your stability and be your foundation for when times aren't so predictable. What harm could it possibly do to you? You know, now this is I'm gonna continue on. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 15. It says, "To think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom, and whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. For she goeth for she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her, sheweth herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought. So the more and more you desire wisdom, you seek wisdom, you pray for wisdom, you know, and you pray for wisdom and things of that nature. Wisdom is abundantly gonna be shown unto you. She's gonna abundantly show herself unto you because she deems you worthy of her. And you'll be seen favorably in her eyes. And it's the same thing with a woman. You know, the more what's it called? Women are hypergamous by nature. So she's going to be sitting if she deems you to be worthy. She's going to make it easy for you. If she deems you to be of high value, she's going to make it easy for you. She's going to show herself unto you. She's going to make herself easy to approach. And the same likened thing to wisdom. It's the same thing. Now it says, for the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. And love is keeping all of her laws, and giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. And it's all about following the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because that's showing love. That's showing love right there. A part of keeping the law, statutes, commandments is sacrifice, because what we're in this flesh. We have to sacrifice all of the wicked desires that we may have at being in this flesh, because what the flesh is desperately the heart in the flesh is desperately wicked. Who can know it but the Lord? So it's a constant battle, it's a constant fight, that we have to fight, and keeping of the law, statutes, and commandments through faith, is a part of wisdom. And it's the assurance of incorruption. It says, and incorruption maketh us near Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, being incorruptible, not what's it called? Having that filth taken off of us. It brings us near to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Because and ultimately, it's what's going to make us spotless and blameless in the sight of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And it's all going to be done through faith, Now it says, therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom. So the more the desire of wisdom, and being able to attain that wisdom and maintain that wisdom and grow that wisdom is bring it forth a kingdom. And the kingdom that we're hoping to bring forth is the kingdom that's going to be ushered in by Yahweh Shai Mashiach. He is the wisest of us all, and he's going to set the tone, and he's going to usher in the kingdom to come, but it starts off with that wisdom that we're able to attain on this go around in this lifetime, that's going to bring forth a kingdom. We're the wisdom that we've been able to attain right now. We're spiritually bringing down this kingdom that we're standing in, this wicked empire, ruled by Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And we're bringing a spiritual temple, and we're building up, the spiritual temple to bring forth a new kingdom, which is of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, which is a kingdom of righteousness. Now I'm gonna grab Colossians chapter 3 verse 2. It says, "Set your affections on things above, not on things of this earth." And the reason why I'm bringing this out is because everything in this earth is corruptible. But the wisdom knowledge, and understanding that you're able to get is of the things on high. These are the things that you're supposed to desire. You know. Hold on. Give me a second. Put on my phone on do not disturb. Now it says, "For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach in the Heavenly Father." It says, "When Hamashiach, who is our life, shall appear," and that just goes to show Hamashiach is our life. And the quicker that you acknowledge that, the easier it is. The easier it's going to be to let go of all your worldly attachments. Yahweh Shai is our life. We have no life in this world because Yahweh Shai is our life. Yeah. It says, "When shall ye appear? Then ye shall appear with him in glory." Verse 5, it says, "Mortify therefore your members which are upon earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry." Right? So we have to mortify our members. We have to be dead in this world, you know? And a part of getting that wisdom, being able to attain that wisdom, is you have to have an ego death. You know, you have to be able to kill. What's it called? You have to be able to kill yourself and be built back up and be brought alive multiple times. Right? You have to be able to deny yourself. You have to be able to mortify your members. You know, and being able to have that ego death and kill off the old man consistently, you know, it gets rid of all these things: uncleanliness, fornication, inordinate affection, you know. And it doesn't say that affection is wrong. It says inordinate affection. You know, you have to have your affection on things on high. You have to set your affections on things on high. You have to have affection. You know, and the affection that you're supposed to have is the affection of wisdom. You have to have the affection of wisdom. You know, I believe it even said it. In the previous scripture one of the previous scriptures that I brought out in Wisdom of Solomon, if I could find it. Yeah, can't find it right now, but I'm gonna continue. It says, this was Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 1. It says, "Wisdom reacheth from one end to another mightily, and sweetly doth she order all things. I loved her. I sought her out of my youth. I sought her out from my youth. I desired to make her my spouse, and I was a lover of her beauty." You know, and this is just going into how wisdom is likened unto a woman. You know, wisdom reacheth from one end to another mightily, sweetly, and doth she order all things. I loved her. I sought her out of my youth. I desired to make her my spouse. I was a lover of her beauty. You know, wisdom is beautiful. You're supposed to desire her. You're supposed to seek her early, you know, from your youth. And you're supposed to make her your spouse, you know. The desire of wisdom is a righteous desire to have, you know, and the affection thereof is a righteous affection to have, you know. You're supposed in this life, you know, in this life seeking wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Seeking knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you'll never fail. You know, these are the things that are going to benefit your life in every single aspect. And on top of that, it says the scriptures talk about how wisdom is more precious than gold and rubies and things of that nature, right? And you know, when you think about it, you know, when you think about analogies like that, it puts things into perspective, because we know what those things can bring about. You know, the gold, rubies, and riches. We can see the things that they bring about, and how those things could change your life. You know, and that's why people on the left hand side, you know, especially when it comes to the Christian church, they preach prosperity doctrine. And the reason why they preach prosperity doctrine in the ways of, oh, you're gonna get that new job, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get that, is because you can see what money can do, you know. But the thing about that is the riches of this world fadeth away, but wisdom doesn't. Wisdom stays. Wisdom is absolute. Wisdom is going nowhere. Wisdom is the truth. Wisdom is wisdom just is. But the reason why those things are compared unto each other is because it's showing you the true value of wisdom, you know, because the riches of this world are held to the highest standard, right? If you got money, if you got money, that's the biggest testament to how valuable you are as a man in this world. But on the right hand side, when it comes to wisdom, that's what really shows your value, right? And the desire of wisdom is what bringeth about a kingdom, not physical riches. That comes afterwards. That comes after you've been able to attain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It bringeth about a kingdom. This is how you make. This is how you bring it about. This is how you build. You build by having the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You know, and that's why you got to go in. You got to go in. You got to be. You got to go in order. You got to go in order. You could desire all. You could desire the glory, the riches, and things of that nature. But without wisdom, you're never going to be able to attain it in its purest form. You're not going to be able to attain it in righteousness, and you'll never be happy. We're looking, the things that we're seeking for is true happiness. We're seeking for true happiness and true peace through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Because that's the only power that can give us true happiness and true peace. But we have to get that knowledge and wisdom and understanding that's given by him to be able to get that, and we have to desire that wisdom that he's allowed to be spread upon the four corners, just like how we would desire a beautiful woman. That's the same feeling that you have towards a beautiful and comely woman is the same feeling that you should have about attaining and maintaining a wisdom, and that's another aspect to it. You have to be able to maintain. You have to be able to maintain her when you get a woman. Brothers know when you get a woman, it's not just about getting her. You got to keep her. You got to keep her. You have to maintain it. You have to maintain her. You have to maintain that. You have to maintain that relationship. And the same thing, and the same liking thing. You have to tend to wisdom. You have to tend to her. You have to see where she's at. You have to keep yourself. That's why the scriptures say keep yourself occupied. Keep you occupied till I come. And that occupying is a part of maintaining, having that spiritual maintenance. So you're able to grow and maintain, and just keep yourself going. Get as much as you can. Now I'm gonna get some more. This is Proverbs chapter 4 verse 6. It says, "Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee." Right? And that's a part of it right there. That tending to her, that maintaining her. You can't forsake wisdom. You can't forsake wisdom. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So, with all that wisdom that you get understanding out of that wisdom. Like I said before. It comes the knowledge, the wisdom, and then the understanding. So with, you're able, wisdom is spread, wisdom is given to, wisdom on a certain level is given to all people, Knowledge is given, and knowledge have we all. Wisdom is given to, a good amount of people as well, you know. But that understanding though is the application of that knowledge and wisdom that you've been able to attain. And honestly, that's the hardest part, because that's where the warring of the flesh begins, you know. Yeah, I know this, but now you have to apply it. Now you have to do, you know. It says, wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So with all thy getting of that wisdom, you have to get understanding as well. And you have to be able to apply those things that you have learned. It says, exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory. Shall glory, a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. You know. So these are the things that wisdom is capable of doing for you, if you're able to get her. If you forsake her not, and you keep it, you keep her. If you and in order to not forsake her, you have to maintain her. You have to tend to her. You have to maintain her. You have to constantly seek wisdom. you know and that's why we can't be in the spirit of, I know, that know-it-all spirit. I know that, that know-it-all. Yeah, you could know it all. You could say, oh yeah, I know, but do you understand though? That's the important part, is understanding. And the thing is that understanding can be taken away. And and the understanding is not the knowledge of it, that the understanding of being taken away is not the knowledge of it, of that wisdom and knowledge, and that wisdom and knowledge existing. You can know that it exists, but the understanding being taken away is the application thereof being taken away. You actually tending to it, and you actually doing the things that the scriptures tells you to do being taken away. You falling out, you not doing the things needful in order to maintain that, in order to maintain yourself, in the spirit. That can be taken away. You can know that you can have the knowledge that it exists, but it really means nothing if you can't apply it. And that's why, the Ruach Kodesh, the Holy Spirit, and the understanding being taken away is the most scariest things, because you can have the existence of it, you can have the knowledge of the existence of it, but the most important thing is being able to apply it. Now, I'm gonna continue on. It says, this is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 13. I believe this is, the last few precepts that I had. It says, happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. This is what's true. This is the only thing that could truly make us happy, especially in this lifetime. Being able to find wisdom, and being able to apply it and get that understanding. This is what truly makes us happy, because this is the only growth that matters. This is the only growth that matters, and it's growth in the spirit. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. And like I said before, there's a reason why it's comparing itself to the dainty things of this earth, the valuable things of this earth, because there's nothing more valuable than it. There's nothing more valuable than there's nothing more valuable than the wisdom that you're able to attain through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It says she is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared to her. You know, it's not to be compared, but the comparison was still made. And the reason that is because it's just to put it in perspective. You know, it's to put it into perspective. And, Jake is a visual people. They need to be able to visualize how important something is. The easiest way to do that is through ways of analogy and comparisons. But really, there really can't be anything compared to her in terms of how valuable she is. Not money, not money, not rubies, not anything. You know, and there's no power, there's no power on earth that can, what's it called? There's no power on earth that can take her away, that could take her away from you. You know, the only power there is Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and that's the power. That's the power that gives what wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Wisdom and knowledge and understanding is given by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and that's the ultimate power. It says, verse 16. It says, "Length of days is in her right hand, and in her and in her left hand riches and honor." Right, so she comes with riches and honor. Righteous and incorruptible riches and honor, and length of days, meaning life. She comes with life and riches, and the thing about the riches in this world is that they're corruptible. And the thing about the life of this world is that it's temperate. The life that is talking about is that life is going to be eternal, and the riches are going to be pure. Now, verse 18, she is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is every one that retaineth her. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and everyone that retaineth her. Like I said, you have to retain it. You have to maintain it. You have to keep her. And the only way that you can keep her is tending to her, is desiring her more, is by growing. It says, "The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, by understanding hath he established the heavens." And like I said, all wisdom, knowledge, and understanding comes from the Lord. It took all those things to create the world that we live in right now. This earth, the solar system, everything, bro, everything. And if you are of the elect, Lord's will, we're of that number. We played a part of that. We played a part in that. Now, by this knowledge, the depths are broken up, and clouds drop down the dew. So all the processes that you see in the earth, all the things that you see that make so much sense, all the things that are unexplainable but are made perfectly, is given by knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And that can't be compared to the physical and carnal riches, because the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding even created that. It says, "My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion." Hey, you gotta desire wisdom in order for you to be able to have discretion, in order to ascend. In order for you to have in order for you to be happier. In order for you to be able to attain true happiness. And honestly, peace within yourself. You have to be able to get knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Because without those powers, the wisdom that any wisdom that you're able to attain is meaningless. The wisdom that we seek is, a wisdom that is not of this world. The knowledge that we're seeking is a knowledge not of this world. It's only of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and it's above all types of wisdom, all types of knowledge, and all types of understanding. And with that, I want to say, call Allah, Yahweh, Shemi, Awashai. Double honors to my apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. And peace and citations to the elect men pushing out this word in truth and sincerity. Till next time, I want to say shalom.